Welcome back to Real Family Secrets. Grab your snacks, get comfortable. The people in these stories had every chance to behave themselves. They just chose wrong. Drop a comment and be sure to subscribe. You're going to love it here. My name is Corinne Delacroix. For 10 years, my husband Landon controlled every dollar I touched, calling it my allowance. 3 weeks ago, he forgot to transfer my $3,000 and screamed at me over the phone. You want a divorce or something? He had no idea that call would end with him owing $145,000 he could never legally escape. Landon and I married 10 years ago when he was a rising business consultant and I was, in his words, someone who understood how to support a man's career. I gave up my own job in the second year of our marriage, at his insistence, to manage our household and support his growing client list. What started as generous became controlling within a few years. Every expense ran through him. My allowance, as he called it, arrived monthly, and I learned quickly not to question the amount or the timing. Over the past 2 years, the pattern had shifted further. Late nights, vague explanations, hotel charges on a secondary card he thought I never saw the statements for. I found evidence of an affair with a much younger woman named Brielle about 8 months ago. I didn't confront him. I'd learned, over a decade of marriage, that confrontation with Landon accomplished nothing except giving him time to reframe the narrative before I could act on it. Instead, I hired an attorney, a precise, formidable woman named Pendleton, and began quietly documenting everything. 10 years of financial control, unauthorized charges on my secondary card for jewelry and hotel rooms meant for his mistress, emotional abuse I'd recorded in careful, dated notes, and increasingly, actual audio recordings of his more volatile outbursts. Brielle, it turned out, had her own grievances. Landon had misrepresented himself to her entirely. His wealth, his professional standing, even his marital status early in their relationship. She'd signed a sworn affidavit once Pendleton reached out carefully, agreeing to pursue her own claim against him for fraudulent misrepresentation. Pendleton and I built three separate legal tracks simultaneously: a formal divorce filing citing 10 years of financial control and documented infidelity, a fraud affidavit filed with the credit card issuer for the unauthorized secondary card charges, and Brielle's own civil claim for intentional infliction of emotional distress. By the time everything was ready to move, I had a filing sequence prepared that would trigger within hours of each other, deliberately, so Landon would have no time to react to one crisis before the next one landed. Hanagnanknan. The morning I finalized everything with Pendleton, I boarded a train for a business trip I told Landon was work related. A trip that was, in fact, the final piece of distance I needed to execute everything calmly, from somewhere he couldn't reach me in person. He called me 3 hours into the trip, his voice already sharp before I'd even said hello. You forgot to transfer my 3,000, I said calmly when he finally paused for breath. Forgot? Landon snapped. Corinne, it's not a right, it's an allowance I give you. You want a divorce or something? Actually, I said, yes. There was a pause on the line. What are you talking about? When you threw that furniture off the balcony at noon today, I said, we were legally strangers. Attorney Pendleton finalized the filing this morning before you woke up. That means the property destruction was a criminal act committed by an unemployed, single individual named Landon Holloway. I have zero legal responsibility, zero marital liability, and zero obligation to pay a single cent toward your criminal restitution. My head is spinning, he said. This isn't happening. I won't accept this. That's not all, Landon, I said. Attorney Pendleton has also finalized my own civil claim against you for 10 years of systematic financial control, emotional abuse, and marital infidelity. We've set the demand at $30,000. Given the documentation, the audio recordings, and Brielle's signed affidavit, any court in New York will grant summary judgment in my favor within minutes. Huh, huh, huh. 30,000, he repeated, his voice hollowing out. Furthermore, I said, we've audited every unauthorized charge you made on my secondary credit card to buy jewelry and hotel rooms for your mistress. Because those purchases were made through intentional misrepresentation, I filed a formal fraud affidavit with the issuing bank. They're reversing the liability and initiating a direct collection action against you for unauthorized conversion of funds. That's 15,000.
Stop, please, stop saying numbers.
And finally, I said, Brielle is retaining counsel to sue you for intentional infliction of emotional distress and fraudulent misrepresentation, claiming you deceived her into a relationship by fabricating your professional identity and wealth. Her initial claim is $20,000. That's a combined financial liability of $145,000, I said. You're 44 years old, unemployed, have zero savings, and possess a criminal record as of today. You're going to carry that debt for the rest of your life. $145,000, Landon repeated in a vacant whisper. I'll just declare bankruptcy, he said. Chapter 7. Once I file, all those debts get wiped out by the federal court. You won't see a single penny.
You really don't know anything about the law, do you, Landon? I said. Under Section 523 of the United States Bankruptcy Code, liabilities arising from willful and malicious injury to another person or their property cannot be discharged in bankruptcy. Debts incurred through false pretenses or fraud are entirely non-dischargeable.
What does that mean? He asked weakly. It means felony property destruction, fraudulent credit card conversion, and court ordered restitution are legally protected from discharge, I said. Even if you file, the federal judge will exclude those debts. Your bank accounts will be levied, your future wages garnished at the maximum legal limit, and liens will follow you for the rest of your life. There is no exit. A low gurgling sound came through the phone. Corinne, wait, don't hang up. Help me. Please help me. The train's PA system chimed, announcing our approach into the station. Goodbye, London, I said. Never attempt to contact me or my family again. Home. I ended the call, removed the SIM card from my phone at the station, and dropped it into a trash can as I stepped onto the platform. I inserted a new, pre-activated card with a private number. My connection to Landon Holloway was officially completely severed. I stepped out into the evening air, the city lights glowing above me, and felt something I hadn't felt in 10 years. The specific, uncomplicated lightness of a life finally belonging entirely to me. If this story moved you, subscribe for more real family stories and tell us in the comments, do you think the $145,000 was justice or too far?
Last thing by morning coffee. Dashboard homes with distant voices. Breath echo, tension in my jaw. Loose bills, keys tangled, side pockets one thing. Phone chirps with questions I might never answer. Sun cuts through tinted regrets. Plans rerouted, fingerprints on last night's receipt. Old names flare and brief notification. We trade honesty for comfort, one laugh at a time. Counting all the reasons I keep moving. Borrowed peace burns behind plastic lenses. I frame each mistake with silence. My stride, stubborn glaze with intent. If you see me, let me pass. Truth ride, shotgun and doubt fills a trunk. Every glance a test. I'm just a story behind tinted glass. Rolling out no map, no warning. No warning. New codes, old habits, jacket heavy with memory. She leans in with eyes that see through stunts. We laugh too loud so her won't catch up. Promises undone by sunrise. Caffeine worship receives for feeling spent. Empty benches and inside jokes. We keep moving before history gets too close. Eyes closed. Engine whispers are there. Questions line the edge of tomorrow. Heard my own conviction in distant street noise. sketches, routes the GPS can't find. Let the wheels spell out my secrets. Splinters of truth on passing signs. I'm searching for a reason that feels like skin. If you notice, don't look back. Windows down, new day waiting. Steps echoing fresh concrete. Nothing on, nothing left beyond. Just a distance and the will to begin.